Hello there, brothers and sisters, lovers, haters, friends and neighbours. I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's having a nice Thursday so far. I'm just making my way across town. I've got a little bit on this morning, a few bits and bats to get sorted. I thought I would come on while I was driving and talk about the very real, very reasonable offer I've just had from a promotion to fight on the same show as Brett May. Brett May has obviously used his powers of exaggeration a little bit in this one in regards to the numbers that will be in attendance for this show, because those type of figures, that will never happen. And to put on a festival type gathering at this sort of notice will present its difficulties. You've got a lot of preparation and planning, a lot of permits, a lot of sit downs, a lot of insurance, you've got to sit down with like the council committee, and there's a lot of stuff to get over the line regarding like a festival type event. So the chances of that, I would say, are rather slim. But Brett May was telling the truth about the promotion, he was telling the truth about the show, and so far he was telling the truth about him being the main event. So fair play to Brett May, fair play to him. Me and Brett May have got a bit of a colourful online history, but the fire's gone out, with me as far as I'm concerned. The passion just isn't there. I had a passionate dislike, shall we say, towards Brett May for a little while. The fire's gone out, and as I've said in the last video that I mentioned him, I want this for Brett May. I'm pleased for him, I really am. And I'll be supporting him, and I'll be supporting this event. Fighters should fight. And there's been, I don't know how many reasons, and I don't know how many fights that haven't happened for Brett in the last couple of years. So, I'll be supporting this event, and I'll be supporting Brett May, irrespective of our relationship. Fighters should fight. And I want what's best for him, and I don't wish any harm on the lad. And I would love to see him headline a decent show, and I really mean that. I really mean that. I really would. We've got a couple of camps on the way at the minute at Carlisle. Brett May would always be welcome if here for some sparring and bits of content and that, whatever, mate. I ain't bothered about whatever's going on, mate. I'm just not. It's water under the bridge, water off a duck's back at this stage. But this promotion, like I say, they have put shows on before. This promotion is the same promotion that I dealt with when I fought Sean Rafferty on the Street Beef show in London, which was a good show, and they paid good money, by the way. I got a very reasonable purse for that fight, considering what the fight was, with gloves on. And I was paid handsomely. I was paid in cash as well, which is quite rare these days. I was given a win bonus. They covered all my expenses, they paid my hotel, and they gave me a fight of the night bonus as well. So a very good promotion. They have got experience in the promotional field. They've put fights on before. The money's definitely there. They know what they're doing promotionally. A little bit of a grind on that front brake there, I hear it. I look at it, and it was just, I think it's just like, when you get a hard bit in the pad. Hopefully it'll pass. Good little car. I picked up this car yesterday, and I'm pleased with it. I like it. But yeah, the two opponents that they had in mind for me was Jimmy Justice, which I think me and Jimmy in gloves would be a good fight. We've already had 5 rounds in bare knuckle, and I do like Jimmy. And the other opponent was Tommy Hench. I do like Tommy Hench, but Tommy Hench is a powerful heavyweight, a legitimate heavyweight. So, unless me and Tommy had a personal chew, then fighting him in a professional format isn't really something that interests me. There's weight divisions for a reason. I don't mind having straighteners with heavyweights if I've got a personal issue, and we can get some fair play. But professionally, it's something that doesn't really interest us, unless they were talking, a rather large amount of money. But I don't think that sort of money's there in that fight. But this promotion is definitely legit. They're not a scrimp and scrape type of promotion. They do pay well. So what can I say? I'm pleased for Brett May. I'll be supporting Brett May. I'll be supporting this event. I will be down at that event doing some content, and I'll be doing some stuff promotionally for the lads who's setting the card up and the show up, the promoters. I'll be doing, you know, them a few favours because they're good lads. It's a good team of boys, and I hope they get a good card over the line. Okay, ta-ra for now, people.